internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hour Script. Let's get right into today's video. This is absolutely insane. I was going over the next generation monetary and financial system PDF from the BIS. I mean, whoever says that. But you will be shocked with what was said in this PDF. Why did I start going through this? Well, you guys recall Larry Fink talking about tokenization just a couple of days ago and how big this is?
You can help level set, but I think you have a view that tokenization is effectively going to change finance forever.
Yeah.
But in a moment, you're going to listen to exactly what he says. And when you listen to him, all you're going to think about is Ripple and XRP. Because if you guys have been following this channel for a very long time, you guys know that Ripple has structured itself to operate like a bank. And the crazy part about all this is, remember, I used to say Ripple was going to be a bank years ago. And then this year, Ripple came out and they applied to become a national bank, Ripple National Trust Bank. It is truly remarkable. And today, Ripple just announced that they completely closed the deal with G Treasury. But 2 days ago, Brad Garlinghouse made it public on the panel.
Ripple purchased a company called G Treasury recently, which has visibility into over $10 trillion of payments from their corporate customers. And the number of those customers who are already, the acquisition closed Monday. The number of those customers that are already approaching us interested in leveraging stablecoins for the flexibility, for better yield, for as a trusted resource, because of that clarity, people are leaning in.
With G Treasury, Rail, Palisade, and Ripple Prime, we're building the one-stop shop for digital asset infrastructure, custody, liquidity, treasury, payments, and real-time settlement under one unified platform. We are building the infrastructure that powers the internet of value. Please keep in mind, anything that moves on the blockchain, any type of value instrument is going to need a settlement layer. And that needs to be done efficiently. And under this PDF, I cannot even believe what I'm about to say. This is actually ridiculous. Listen to this part. The role that crypto assets and stablecoins will ultimately play in the next generation monetary and financial system is an open question. They still don't have answers to this. And if you guys remember the PDF that we covered from the IMF and the BIS, they were talking about they still do not know who is going to create these systems, and that was set in 2025. And this PDF is also from 2025 of this year. And they go on to say this. Listen to this part. Two examples illustrate the critical importance of elastic provision of liquidity. Both are based on large value rather than retail applications. Remember what Brad Garlinghouse said here?
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments.
Large value payments require substantial liquidity for settlements, and banks supported by central banks' standing facilities are uniquely positioned to provide this liquidity. But this is all going to change. The requirement to settle large amounts in real time heightens the need to have the required settlement assets reserved at the right time, place, and quantity. Compared with, for example, deferred net settlement systems, this increases liquidity demands. But listen to what they said here. Separating messaging and settlement creates additional friction in international payments. And if you guys recall this clip, wow.
Does messaging with a large data payload in the ISO 20022 messages, but it doesn't do settlement. So the ultimate would be to bring these things together where you have messaging and settlement coming together, that who owns what machine working hand in hand with something you can transfer the large data payloads.
So the second thing that I would say is Swift is primarily a messaging layer, so it moves messages or information from point A to point B Ripple has combined both messaging and settlement together in one single place, right, which is tightly knit, so that when a message moves from point A to point B, also value moves alongside and the value is considered settled and it gets done. So you could send millions of $1 transaction or $5 transaction from institution A to institution B, and they'll get delivered to the beneficiary account safely and with almost zero errors and instant credit into the account. So we are, you can call it, I mean, in terms of network, you can call it us as a Swift-like network, but in terms of technology, we are miles ahead, and we are the modern age technology that has been built up.
Ripple is all in one-stop shop for all this. Okay, the movement, the progression, the people being priced out, the announcements, the usage, the demand that's going to pour in when they're all ready is going to be remarkable. Truly, truly remarkable. But you heard what they said there, right? And then they go on to say specifically, the payer's bank sends the payment instructions to another bank in the home jurisdiction and with a correspondent banking relationship with the bank in the payee's jurisdiction. The correspondent bank, in turn, sends instructions to the payee's bank. Each step involves separate account updates. Since different fiat currencies are involved, no single settlement asset can be used throughout the transaction chain. But you do understand what we talked about yesterday, what Larry Fink said back in 2018.
Because if the whole world is using this one network for financial transaction, it presents a lot of systemic risk. It presents a lot of systemic risk.
And where we are today, this one ledger, we all know the DTCC, the IMF, that they said it isn't going to be one ledger to rule them all. This is going to be a collaborative effort. But there are going to be heavyweight champions that are going to absorb billions, I can't even say billions, trillions of this market. And XRP is for certain one of those entities. Well, XRP itself is not an entity, but XRP itself will obtain those astronomical numbers coming into its ecosystem, without a doubt. And if you came this far into the video and if you're saying no, you're wrong, I politely ask you, just unsubscribe from the channel. You will never ever see the vision after I presented you all of this information. And if you're new to this channel, go watch my previous videos. There is hundreds of videos. And the best part about all this is if you really want to learn, go to the early videos and then look where we are today. Everything that was said, everything that was done, it's all happening. It's all happening. Go watch the previous old videos because it's all shaping exactly the way we said it. But now listen to this. I put this video together. This is Larry Fink, Tokenization, talking about settlement rails. And we know Ripple has been trying to fix this for a very long time. You're going to hear Naveen Gupta in the video montage. Very, very important how I have interlinked all these videos together so it flows really well, so you guys understand what Ripple set out to solve, what the solution was to the problems that they were aiming for. And it is just remarkable where we are. Don't worry about the price of XRP.
You can help level set, but I think you have a view that tokenization is effectively going to change finance forever.
Yeah. There's so much conversation going on about AI and how AI is going to be reshaping the world. There's not enough conversation about how technology is going to be reshaping the financial services area too, and the need for democratization is.
There is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies.
Secretary Besson talked about the democratization of investing in America. There are slews of middlemen in the whole financial services area. We have elongated settlements, elongated processes. We have elongated settlements, elongated processes.
I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies, that should be done.
If we could digitize every asset, so if we could digitize all stocks and bonds,
that everything of value will be a token on a blockchain. Not a coin, not a thing. It's literally a line item on a public ledger. Everything of value will be that. And every transaction of value will happen in digital assets. You don't need the pieces of paper. Wipe out all of DTCC, which processes $1.8 quadrillion a year. That is a large number. That will all move to digital. And when it does, it will create massive wealth, the greatest wealth creation opportunity I'm going to see in my lifetime.
And have it more seamless going from a digital wallet of cash or stable coin into equities or bonds through, in most categories, through an ETF.
Ripple is not an ordinary company. We are not here to make us have a small market share or do X, do Y, and make small amount of money or something to happen. We are here to make a dent in the universe. Either we will change the remittance universe, the way you understand, the way value gets transferred across the world, between people, between institutions, or we will just fade away.
It will reduce the friction costs, the transaction costs, and it allows a much more free flow. So there's $4.1 trillion of money in digital wallets globally.
Every day we get tens of ideas to say, why don't you do security settlement? Why don't you work in trade finance? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? And what we tell them is just cross-border remittances is $155 trillion problem. We'll solve this first. We'll make a difference to everybody who's present in this room. And once we have made the difference, then only we will look at something else.
And do not worry about the price of XRP. You should only be worried about the price of XRP if you are looking to enter some trades, which I do have my Ethereum trade open, my XRP trade open, and my BNB trade open. And we are potentially, we are trying to catch the generational bottoms right now, because within the next month and a half, as per the SEC, okay, the SEC said they're going to come out and they're going to provide a list of crypto tokens that are innovation friendly. And you and I both know that XRP is going to be on that list. And also never forget that XRP has clarity. Like XRP is the only digital asset out there, maybe you could say along with Bitcoin, but that's like a little gray area, that has been proven in court. It's like legal to the highest T, right? And again, ask yourself now, why would they do that? Why would they go after XRP? Right? Does it all click? Does it not click to you guys yet? Given where Ripple is in 2025 and what everything that we have discussed about tokenization, about having that settlement liquidity layer, how having a neutral bridge asset is actually required for a tokenized world. It's very important because when you're moving that value, understand that when you're moving value, it'll always require a settlement layer. Okay, no matter what it is, from bonds, real estate, it could be anything tokenized. Okay, we are going into a new world. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. The next generation monetary and financial system. Again, I love pointing this out to you guys because you do understand nobody reads this, right? I think maybe there's 50,000 people on this planet Earth, this flat Earth, that I'm just trying to trigger for you guys. I really don't entertain the whole flat or round Earth. I don't care at this point. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I genuinely have not even dug into it, so don't roast me in the comments down below. But you do understand nobody reads these stuff. They do not read these stuff. So when we read these stuff and when we connect it with what was said and what is being done and how long it's being worked on and who is involved, it's game over. It's a wrap. I know we're on the right side of history. There's zero doubt. I go to bed every night knowing what we are doing as a community is going to be looked at and studied. I mean, at that point, I don't know what people are going to be studying for because AI is approaching. And once AI is here, how useful are humans? Remember what Elon Musk even said? What does it mean to be a human? Think about it. What is your objective on this earth? If you really start thinking, you might go crazy. But just understand the individuals that are in this ecosystem that have accumulated crypto, our lives will be different than the average individuals. And I know many of you guys that have been following this channel religiously have been accumulating religiously, following everything that was happening, you guys are already in a better off spot. Okay, and I know that, and it makes me happy, really, it makes me really happy knowing that many of us together created something for our future. Understand the importance of what is being done here. Okay, I don't care. I love addressing the knuckleheads in this world because there's so many of them. Having worked client facing in a regulated, I mean, all the banks are regulated, but in the financial industry, dealing with people's money, because at the end of the day, when they came to me, they were like, I'm like the final stop in terms of, we control your money. So if there was a check that was on hold, I could release. But there's some dickheads in the banks that they don't release checks or large amounts and getting, approvals from your compliance officers. And again, I'm not going to go into all that stuff, but just talking about the banking, I don't know why, because I was going through this bank charter that Ripple put through on the OCC website. And when I saw like these signatures, you could just tell that this was faxed. You could see that Stewart was too busy and he just signed it and he sent a picture to whoever it was. Again, this was Photoshop, not Photoshop, but a photo was taken. It was a quick SMS message. I'm only saying that because I remember sometimes I had to, collect signatures from authorized officers and beneficial owners. And at my time, we were just approving this because at first you couldn't send a piece of paper like this, especially signed over a text message. It had to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a verified copy, stamped, or the customer had to come into the office and sign it, or we had to go to their house and get their signature at times. But you could just tell they were all over the place in terms of, across the world in different continents, jurisdictions, whatever. Anyways, it just kind of gave me a little flashback of the bank days. But yeah, it's awesome. You kind of get the vibe of how these individuals are. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We are at ground zero. We are seeing history being formed as we speak, as we breathe every single day. And take a just look at this bank charter for Ripple. I'll go ahead and leave this in the description down below so you guys can go ahead and check it out and read Ripple National Trust Bank. It is remarkable. It is just so crazy. And it doesn't excite you guys, like we already knew Ripple was going to be a bank and Ripple is a bank. It's like, oh, it's happening. You see this? Remember when we talked, I want to kind of give you this angle. We already talked about Ripple was going to be a bank. And when Ripple announced it, we didn't get excited. And when XRP hits $50, $100, none of you guys are going to be excited. I'm so sorry. I'm literally sorry for ruining your excitement. But when it does happen, they're going to be like, oh, it's just another day. So I want you guys to mentally prepare for that as well. When XRP hits these crazy numbers, we have studied this ecosystem so well to a T that when these numbers happen, it's like, oh, okay, cool. We're just going to live on. We're just going to go on with our day. That's literally how it's going to be, folks. That's exactly how it's going to be. Obviously, you guys are going to be excited, right? Hopefully none of you guys pass away from sudden wealth syndrome. But that won't be the case if you guys are working out every single day, okay? Make sure you're getting your steps in. If you don't like working out, if you don't like going to the gym, go freaking walk. If you don't like walk on a treadmill, put on Netflix, put on YouTube, listen to a podcast, but you have to at least walk. Okay, I'm being serious. If you're one of those individuals that do not hit the gym at all and you don't do anything, and don't tell me you don't have time. Don't tell me you don't have time because you have time. There's 24 hours in a day. There's no excuse. You could wake up an hour early or sleep an hour later if it means going out for a walk at night, going a walk for in the pre-morning. No excuses. At the end of the day, I'm only going to tell you, and if you take action, great on you. If you don't, you're going to see the effects in your own life, and you're going to live with regret because you did not take care of your body. That's that. At the end of the day, us humans, we have to live with our mistakes. Understand that. So anybody that misses out on crypto, I'm not even sorry. Like I said, I'm going to be like, if 2025 and you're still hesitant about getting into crypto, I'm not being rude. I'm just being real. You're mentally ill. If you are hesitant about getting into crypto in 2025, knowing everything that's happening right now, my goodness, can you try to, like, there's no point. There's no point. Move on. In terms of if you guys try to, like, get people involved now, it's like, if it's either you see it or you're going to get left behind. Let them get left behind, okay? There's plenty of information out there that people could be doing. Anyways, that was a rant. We're going to end this off. I love you guys, and we'll be back with another video.
The thing with these assets, though, is they always follow a hockey stick curve. As long as a specific asset class actually starts moving on-chain wholesale and you get true hockey stick adoption.
Well, I woke up this morning, check my bags on the chain. XRPL still humming while the FUD folks complain. Ripple fighting Goliath, yeah, the SSA's game. But Johnny D and Hogan, they're bringing the flame. So we salute to the rebels in suits, to the coders and hodlers wearing dusty old boots. Raise a toast to the ledger and the lawyers who bite, while Taco Stand the middle of the night. Damn, Jed, can you chill? Brad G's on the mic saying clarity now, while Shorts codes the stars with the hologram cow watch. The haters keep chirping, but the people ain't blind. This ain't some mean dream, it's the internet spine. Regulators stalling, but the clock's ticking fast. Ripple drops the case like a baseline blast. Communities united from Twitter to the street. We meme through the madness and never admit defeat. Yeah, we salute to the devs and the geeks, to the ledger that clears in seconds, not weeks. To D, to Hogan, to Legal Delight, and the salty old taco that just loves to spite. Hey Jed, you done yet? Or you got another dump scheduled for lunch? So here's to the warriors, the freaks, and the fans, waving salute tokens like battle flags in hand. It ain't just about coins, it's a movement, a pact. We defend what we build, and we're taking it back. Come on, salute to the ones in the fight, to the token that laughs in regulatory spite, to Schwartz, Brad, and the ones still believing, even while Taco Stand's always leaving. One for XRP, and raise your guitar for decentralized dreams. This song's for the ledger, the truth and the proof. With a smile and a nod, we say salute.
The predictions that failed most miserably, the Bitcoin and blockchain. So
we started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.